this is what you're gonna have to deal for this whole video, because that background mechanical noise is not going away. That is my dad. And then the barking is my dog, who always barks because he wants my dad, who is working. Yep. Anyway, so that's not gonna stop. The only reason I'm doing it now is because it's like it's in my brain. I've been thinking about it for like the last hour, and I'm like, I'm gonna forget this. I should probably just film it. So this video is about, I guess it's my tagline now. This video is about my health. This is not exactly the update I usually do, where it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not putting up videos and stuff, and I give bullshit answers and stuff. This is literally about my health. That has never really been a problem before. Like, I'm now 26 because I had my birthday on June 11th. So that was a thing. I'm 26 now. That's weird. So anyway, that's besides the point. It's either I'm getting older, or I've gained a lot of weight, or it's just more stress happening in my life. There's a lot of factors that are happening that is affecting my health, essentially. And what's happening with my health is that I started to develop a chronic issue. For those of you that don't know, chronic is something that happens daily and it interrupts your daily life, essentially. And it's really the main issue why I even stopped making videos, is because of my health. And this is something that kind of emerged intensely in the last 6 months. So pretty much this whole year, like all of 2019, I've had this issue now. And I've gone to a doctor, and I've had him like take my blood to check things. And yeah, things came back how I expected for other things, but like things I specifically wanted checked because of my problem came back clear. So it's just one of those things that like I have to assess and research and like listen to my body of what triggers what. My chronic issue is headaches. And when I say headaches, I don't mean just run-of-the-mill, like average headaches people get. I mean, this is a daily occurrence. And most of the time it's like mid-range between like a mild headache and a migraine. That is what I get daily. And sometimes at least once a week or once every 2 weeks, I get a really bad migraine where like I start seeing lights and I can't tolerate light, and I have to I roll in a ball and like stare in a dark corner and like I exist. That's how bad it gets. And this is a constant thing. I've tried to research like the big changes that has happened in the last 6 months. I've gained a lot of weight. Like I used to be 150, I'm now like around 180. So there's that, because of my diet. I haven't been eating the best in the last 6 months because of my work. I got real used to, over the holiday, I got real used to eating out. And since I was working a lot during the holidays, I didn't have to worry about it because working that much kept my weight down because of what I was eating. And then 2019 starts, and they start working me way less. But I was still used to eating out. So that was an issue I still have to deal with, because like there's this constant thing every day where like, I really want this, I really want that. Like this constant craving, I'm like, I want this particular fast food, I want this particular fast food, I want pizza, I want sushi, I want like these specific things. And it not only costing me, but like it's also made me gain weight, like drastically. It's kind of stupid. Like I don't know, like I kind of want to start. I should have started a headache journal, essentially, where every day I mark down if I had a headache, and if I did, what did I eat that day? What happened that day? Was there anything particular that you noticed that triggered it? What time did it happen? Stuff like that. That I can really register, like, things that are, like, common. Like, oh, it's this particular fast food that I had these certain days that is triggering this particular type of headache. I should probably avoid that. Stuff like that. Like, I should, honestly. But it just happened. Another big major issue that has been kind of bothering me constantly, and why I've wanted to get, like, a laptop so I can move it around and I'm in a more comfortable position to work. Because where the computer is right now is essentially in the most uncomfortable place ever, with the most uncomfortable chair, and every time I, like, try to edit in the last 6 months, maybe, like, last 7 months, I've always gotten a really, really bad headache. Sometimes it even triggers a migraine, like the really, really bad ones. And I just stop. I couldn't, like, literally every single time, it just triggered, like, my head hurting. And, like, I just stopped because I couldn't do it, and because I couldn't sit at the computer for a long period of time, I couldn't edit. So I have a lot of stuff that I need to edit, but I can't because it physically hurts me. So, issues. I also realized that stress triggers them. Like, I realized that real quick because at work, a lot of the time I get very stressed out because, work is stressful. But, like, also with working in a restaurant kitchen, anyone who has ever worked in a restaurant kitchen knows exactly what I mean, where it's very hectic constantly. Like, everything needs to be, like, especially if it's, like, rush hour in the restaurant, like, you have to get shit out fast, and it's just really, really stressful. So that sometimes has triggered headaches. And there was even some points, at least during the holidays, where I had a full-blown, like, seeing lights migraine. But I had to work through it, essentially, because, one, I needed the money, and two, I'm not one to like, to be like, hey, boss, I'm not feeling good. Can I go home? Because, one, I don't want to do that because my bosses kind of don't like me. At least one of them doesn't. One doesn't. One hates me. Yeah. Because I don't listen to him very well. And he hates that. So we're not talking about that right now. Nope. There's that. So work stress triggers him. I'm trying to figure out if certain foods, maybe from certain places, trigger it. I notice sometimes thinking about a fucking headache triggers the fucking headache. So I'm like, oh, I haven't had a headache today. Boop, headache. Fuck. So there's a lot of factors. I know half of it is psychological, and I'm just trying to work through that, essentially. I know half of it is psychology. So this is many hours after that first part of the video. I don't even remember what I was talking about. My health, obviously, my headaches, but I don't know what I ended on. I don't know, but I think you guys get the picture of the headache thing. There's just a lot of factors in that I am trying to figure out. The main reason I even stopped filming earlier is because my dad needed me, and he stressed me out, which kind of caused a headache. So I kind of wanted to zone out for a little bit, and then I got distracted with things, and then I never got back to it, and I'm back to it. There we go. It's like 5 hours later. The main reason I'm even making this is I just want to let you guys know what exactly is happening, like the honest to God truth of it. Like, I just don't feel good. I don't feel good enough to edit. I feel great to film. I usually am able to film. As for that one video I put up of the one pig card recently I put up, literally no fucking idea how I was able to edit that. I think because like I did a half-ass edit, I would have probably cut out a lot more than I did if I was really into it. But I was well aware that I feel like shit when I edit. So I did the minimal time that I could before I started feeling like shit. And I just happened to be like, I didn't even, the first session of editing for that video, I didn't even finish. I did like half the video, and then like a week or two later I was able to finish the other half. And then when that video went up, like I had rendered it a few days earlier, actually a week earlier, because I had put it on my Patreon a week before that it became public here, if that makes sense. Actually, speaking of Patreon, I had written a blog post talking about my headaches and the chronic issue and just issues in general to do with my health, I think. It was mostly my headaches. I don't even know what I specifically said on it, but it's behind a paywall, but it's pretty much what I said in this video. There was something else I wanted to talk about. It was a creative thing. Creative. Fuck pronunciation. Yep. Creative. You know what I mean? It's fine. I don't remember. Shit. See, this is why I started to film early. Because I knew I would forget shit. And I did. Fuck. I mean, I don't know if this is exactly what I was gonna talk about, but I will eventually start doing the rest of my past life videos. I still need to do the second part of Scotland. I had filmed that, and then like a year ago, when I was gonna put it up a year ago or so, the computer crashed, and I lost literally everything. But either way, like what I had for the second part of Scotland was kind of shitty, because I hadn't like written down a list of timeline memories. For those of you that don't know, the past life videos are videos where I talk about each past life. I know so much about the Scotland one that it's become two parts. The first part of Scotland is just like literally just talking about it, not exactly memories I have, but like what the basics were, like who was in it, who was I, what was I like, who were these other people like, stuff like that. Where was I, what time, location, stuff like that. In the second video, I was gonna actually describe memories. So I have to make a timeline for that, and I have been trying, and it's been years since like I uncovered a lot of it. There's still stuff that I need to figure out, but I have, even without that, like I have a lot of stuff that I need to like sort and remember. So there's that. I really want to start doing those again, because like I know that's a very rare thing for my videos. Like you don't get a lot of past life story videos at all on this YouTube channel, this YouTube website. Like I mean, there's probably a few out there, but probably not like mine, where it becomes like a series. Like I know so much about every single one that like, you know, gotta tell some shit. I mean, like there's speculation, like I've actually tried to look for videos like mine and I couldn't really find any. So, and actually the only reason I think a lot of people don't is because one, they haven't had the same experience I've had. They don't know the same type of people. I know they're just not as connected as much. There's a lot of factors. I also know that videos like that, like past lives, talking about like controversial areas, like for example, for my ancient Egyptian one. Okay, for those of you that don't know, in Egypt right now, not ancient Egypt, but like the country Egypt, very, very like controversial, religious. Women are not seen as like equals to men, and very like it's political hotbed of religion and just toxic shit. And for the like, there's obviously, because it's such a like religious and like a political hotbed country, of course there's going to be people on the internet that like live there or natives to there that are going to have very, very strong opinions about their country's history. This comment just kind of confirms that like people that actually live there, that are very, very religious or very, very political or just very like conservative in their nation, their thoughts of like history and like what archaeologists actually uncovered that's actually historically true are very different. For those of you that don't know, and I actually said this in the ancient Egyptian video, women in ancient Egypt were seen as equals, and sexuality was not very like constricted. It was not very constricted. Like, and that's a historical proven thing that archaeologists has found, like women and history and like sexuality was not very constricting, like at all. Even like with gay relationships, like women on women and guys were very seen as very much like accepted. Like I know like particularly the gay on gay like girl on girl, guy on guy thing is going to be very, very controversial. And there was this person who had commented on that video like just ranting like so much shit about like, oh, that's not how the history was. That's not like what was passed down to me. That's not historically correct. There was no girl on girl relationships back then. You don't know anything. You don't know anything, and shit like that. And I'm like, excuse me? Really? Seriously? I mean, I'm not gonna bash your history, and like he was very specific about like he had history that was verbally passed down in his family of like historic like stuff back then, like in ancient Egypt. And for those of you that don't know, this is something I learned in archaeology class and Egyptology. Like voice, like by mouth history is wildly inaccurate to actual history. Like maybe like a person who is telling a person a story like maybe changes something, and then the person they told tells someone else, but they changed something else. And like there's so many mini changes in that word to word, like word to ear history, that it becomes something else entirely from actually reality. And that's something that like was very much like a thing that you learn in like history class and like archaeology class. Like word to ear history is not very accurate, and it never is accurate. Yes, there's probably some truth to it, but don't take it, like take it with a grain of salt, essentially. And I said that in my defense. Like I comment back to a lot of hate comments. That's just kind of my weakness. And I commented back like saying that like word to ear history is not very accurate at all. And he was like, oh, and I'm like, all right, yell at the person with a fucking like passion for history, all right, and was planning on being an archaeologist for many years, all right, all right, fine, all right. Like the reason he was so mad is because in that video, like I described that like I was essentially a concubine. And there was a lot of girl on girl action with me in that life and in general. And like he got super offended by that. Like I don't even know if it was a guy or not, but like whoever this person was, like they got really like offended about that. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And there was probably guy on guy stuff that I had witnessed during that life too, so it was just very normal for me. And it's something I talked about in that video, but he got so fucking mad about it. Why I'm even telling you about that is because probably the reason why a lot of people don't talk about past lives is because that very reason. Because people are gonna like, oh, that's not historically correct. That's not what happened. People back then were not like this. Blah 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 blah. I mean, that's very apparent with a lot of my videos when it comes to past lives. I'm gonna go because it's probably my dad, and he is probably chicken. But either way, this video is going on way too long, so bye bye guys. You understand what I'm talking about in this whole video. Goodbye.